Okay, hi, welcome back to Jodiedrawnout. So I did a kind of a demo video last night and went over a few things, but I also left a few things out. So and I'm working on this project and I wanted to get a little more practice in before my calendars get here. So we'll go over a few things and review a few things and just enjoy the next 15 minutes. So I've already colored in a lot of these emoji heads. But again, this is a book that I'm working on for the Brooklyn Library. And I'm using old photos from my kids growing up, and I'm replacing their expressions with emoji characters. So I kind of went over that last night in the other video, and you can go back and check that one as well if you like. But I do like to review things constantly because I taught art and faux for a lot of years, and especially when you're trying to work on a project, it's hard to listen, retain, and watch all at the same time. So I colored these in with this Derwent Intense pencil. And the one thing I forgot to mention last night that I wanted to point out, there's a little paintbrush on there. You can see that, yeah. And that's going to distinguish this type from the other ones that I also have, the Prismacolors. These are not water soluble or they're waterproof. So this one is going to blend and this one is not. So it's great to have a variety of both. I've already colored in all my emoji heads. I'm going to go back to my water brush, and I want to talk about this a little bit too. You just unscrew it here and fill it with water, and it's always on the go. Now here I don't need a cup of water. I have one, but I don't really need it because everything here is the same color. But when I'm painting with it, doing what we're going to be working on here in a little while, then I want to have water so I can clean my brush out, because there's not really paint in the brush. I'm actually moving the color around that's already on the paper. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention about those coloring pencils is the pencil sharpener. So they don't, I've read many times, they really don't recommend using an electric pencil sharpener with these. So the manual, so I have a bunch of these. I keep them in my bag for emergencies, but when you use them, you kind of make a mess. So then you don't have any place to put the shavings, and it's kind of an inconvenient, you know. Then I had this little old candy thing, and I was putting the shavings in there, and it's just, anyway, I found this, and I love it because I guess it's glass, but it's pretty durable. This comes off. You can empty it, and I never have to worry about making a mess like I used to. And so this is what I do, and they definitely recommend using a hand manual pencil sharpener for these. So I just thought I'd share that with you, because if you get pencils, it's an investment, and you want to take good care of them, and you want them to last, obviously, as long as you can, you know, make them last. So I think it's important to know those ins and outs. So I'm going to do these really quickly. I always want to move the tablet, but I don't want to do that. So another thing I want to talk about really quickly is paper. I drew all these on a multi-mix paper. So it's not really watercolor paper, but I'm not really doing watercolors, not like intense, you know. So this is it, mixed media. I guess it was 60 sheets. It's 11 by 14. It's a good size, because even if I'm not drawing something the size of this, I have plenty of room to keep, you know, rest my arm. Sometimes I find the smaller books kind of, you know, awkward, because you don't really have any place to rest your arm. So this is a smaller, like a tone gray. We'll get to that later. Anyway, so I kind of like these. I started using a bigger pad, and I don't know, I just got used to it, I guess. So I'm going to paint the rest of these in, or water them in. You can see how that, can you see how that just melts the pencil? I love this technique. Again, you know, now it's going quickly because all the color is already on there. So the water brush is really fun. A couple things about that. I'm not squeezing it, so the bristles are just kind of damp, and that's really all I want on there, but I could squeeze water out of it if I want something to be even looser. And we're going to go over that when we start filling in some of the backgrounds of these. I just wanted to go over a few things really quickly while I was doing this, and while I had you here. The other thing I wanted to go over was, I talked about the micron pens last night. A couple things I left out. This is the 5. Okay, I try to get a white background so you can see the size of the tip. And this is an 8, because you're probably like, well, the biggest one is 8. How big is it? That's how big it is. Can you see comparatively? The sizes. It's not that significant. It's hard to tell. But the 8 being the largest, and I think it goes down to like I can't remember. Somebody may leave a comment. 0.0.1 or 0.001 rather. Oh, sorry, monkey. I didn't know you were there. You're always there. Okay, you want to say hi? Come here. Oh, come here. Say hello. Say hi. All right, you got to stay down there now. My assistant. So anyway, I wanted to go over that. And the other thing that I didn't mention last night was that they are waterproof. That is very, very important for what we're doing. So I'm sorry that I neglected to mention that, but that's why we're doing kind of test videos and going over it. And also, like I said, I repeat a lot of, you know, the things that I go over, because I learned a long time ago it takes 3 times to hear something before you really go, oh, okay, now I heard what you said. All right, so I just have a couple more of these, and I want them to be done because I want them to all dry. What was the other thing I was going to mention? Well, let me think. Micron pen. Oh, we're going to go over the watercolors, the Winsor & Newton watercolors that I showed you last night. I'm going to go over how to use it. It's pretty cute, actually. All right, we're almost there. Oh, so the paper, let's go back to that, can hold water. Watercolor paper holds water, and non-watercolor paper does not really. So it kind of just bubbles up and gets warped, and it can make a mess. So when the calendars come out, they're going to be on like a 70-pound paper. So we're going to be using more of the straight coloring pencils, but hopefully maybe someday we'll get them on some watercolor paper. So this guy gets a mask. This emoji, he gets a mask. So let's go over really quickly just when to leave white. So I didn't want to color his whole head in and then have to go back to the white mask because he was sick. This is my son. He was, I think he had the flu, and he was up all night watching Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. Anyway, so this is one of the memory pictures that I'm working on. So he needs a white, you know, face mask. So I have to draw around the white face mask because I'm not going to paint it yellow, color it yellow, and then have to go back in and, you know, figure out how to make it white. So again, going back to, and we'll do that at different times. When to leave white. When do you leave, you know, the void. So we're going to go over that next. Probably the sail over here on the sailboat, I might leave white, like a white sail. The headlights down here on the bumper cars, those will remain white. Possibly the windows and the helicopter here. The marshmallows, these are marshmallows over roasted fire. Okay, these are funny. this was Christmas morning when they got a remote control helicopter, and this was later the same day it went into, it went into the lake. So we can imagine these emoji faces, how opposite they will be. Anyway, the big water droplets coming out of the lake, those are, I'm going to leave those white. So I'm just kind of looking around real quickly so I can find a few places. Maybe inside the ribbon of the kite. Doesn't have to be on every single painting, but the point is, before you start to think about your color palette or what you're going to be doing, make sure you know what the voids are so you don't paint them in. Okay, so we're going to flip this over, and this is kind of what I started working on earlier. Let me get it centered. I started working on it a little earlier, just so you could kind of get an idea of where it's going and the colors and just like the fun of the whole thing. So in here I used the Winsor & Newton, so we're going to go over that real quick. And last night I couldn't get it apart to show you how to add new colors. So I'm very brave to do this over my book, so it's probably not the best idea. This comes out, these come out, and then these little palettes actually come out of that little plastic tub. They go in there, they actually get evaporated and used, so they don't go anywhere. you use them. And then this kind of snaps in, and that goes in there. Okay, so then the fun part, let's move this out of the way. I like a good challenge, but not always. This comes out, and you fill this with water. Oh my. And you pour your water into these, and then they hang on the sides. And then you even have a little paintbrush that comes with it. So, and then these open, which are pretty cool, because if you're like me, you like a lot of paint space. There's one on this side too. So there you have it. You have like a great little paint palette and your little watering, your cleaner. But I like to bring this also because it's got water in it. So, but I do use these if I'm out and about painting outside or something. I'll fill these with water, and so I can clean my brush out sometimes. Okay, so there's that. I just wanted to go over that really quick because I didn't know we were doing a video last night, and the tools are so important, and everybody, they have their own favorites. So I like those. That's my favorite. Okay. We only have like a couple minutes left because I'm going to do 15-minute videos for now. But I'm going to do another one tomorrow. So anyway, I need this. I can't emphasize enough, like, you don't need a lot of color. So I'd like to do maybe just a quick demonstration on a piece of paper. Well, I guess we can do it over here. If you really load your brush up with a lot of paint, you're going to get a more intense color. So the more paint that you get on that brush, the deeper in value is what you're going to get, okay? The more water you have, the more diluted or translucent you're going to make it. And it's also, you could really flood your paper, so you want to be careful with too much water, unless you have a nice heavy watercolor paper. So now I want to use that same color, but I don't want it so dark. So I just rinse my brush out and use a lighter, just a little bit of paint, and I can get a nice wash. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. We talked about that a little bit last night. I don't want everything at that value, at that depth of color, because it's really about the emoji faces and the expressions that they're portraying. So anyway, I guess our time is up for today. I'm sorry, because I'm having fun doing this, but I'm going to do another video tomorrow, and I'm still kind of working the kinks out. And again, these are just kind of demo tapes before the calendars get here, and I want to just go over different techniques and different tools and pencils and things like that. So that'll be, I have lots to talk about. All right, well, you all have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.